Now, on May 8th, my Steam account was compromised. Despite having Steam Guard and two-factor authentication or two-step authentication, it was completely compromised. Although it wasn't until May 13th or May 12th, actually May 13th, that I understood that I was compromised because I had not been playing Steam from May 8th until May 13th, where my friend notified me on Discord that I had a game or VAC ban. So the two games I was banned on were Rust and Call of Duty. Although I didn't care as much really about Rust, I still tried to appeal. They said fuck no, and I was like, okay, I guess I really don't mind not playing Rust for the rest of my life. It'd probably be better for my mental health. But I tried appealing to Call of Duty, and they said no, the decision is final. So then I tried to reach out to other support channels on Activision's part, and basically I kept getting the same answer, basically saying the decisions made a part of the appeals process are considered final. And I was like, fuck. And this led to me going back to my old friend who helped me with previous Activision account errors or issues, which was the Better Business Bureau. And I understand it's basically said that the Better Business Bureau is not an enforcement agency or enforcement whatever and everything. They can't really do anything. But I call bullshit. They really can. They helped me with the previous Activision account issue where I was getting constant bot responses. And I even did a little bit into the Better Business Bureau, conversations with Activision. I was constantly getting bot response after bot response saying there's nothing we can do. Can't verify you're the ownership until eventually persistence, went through and everything. I was persistent and basically it got fixed. And I'm currently going through the exact same thing with the Better Business Bureau with, Activision. I want to say right away that the Better Business Bureau is amazing. They're very, very helpful and they do nothing but trying to help. And since they're unfortunately not enforcement, they basically just kind of have to facilitate the conversation and just push it back and forth. So yeah, they are amazing. They really do try to help. And to get a little bit more into what happened basically with my ban, it basically was for some sort of manipulation with the game, aka hacking or game manipulation. And I did get a weekly report or kind of progress thing you get for Call of Duty, where it basically says, oh, this is your weekly stats. And it said I got 60 kills in Warzone, which I did not even play that week, and 4 deaths. Now, I would say I've been getting better at Call of Duty over the years, but not at all that good. And also, when I checked my Steam login history, fun fact, it basically said from May 8th, when I wasn't playing really Steam and anything that week, up until May 13th, I was basically being logged into from multiple locations all over the world, from the United States all the way to completely foreign countries and areas that I obviously am not in, and I do not use VPNs at all, mainly because I play on console. And the only reason Call of Duty was inside my Steam library and anything for them to be able to download, or the person that compromised my account to be able to download it, was pretty much because I did buy a new PC a year or so ago, and I did install Call of Duty to be able to test out to see if it would run it and everything, just to test out the power of the PC. And then after that, I pretty much deleted Call of Duty and anything, but never removed it from my Steam library. So basically, the person that compromised my account was able to basically just install Call of Duty onto it. Now, I know many people see people saying oh, somebody hacked on my account is the reason they were banned, and Activision's denial of appeal is pretty much the final thing. You were hacking, get over it. But the biggest piece of evidence I have is my Steam login history to show this was not me. And I know deep down with the current state of Call of Duty, and it probably is for the best that I do just stay banned and just get over it and everything. But it always seems, unfortunately, that the most unique situations when it comes to issues with games, companies, or whatever always seem to happen to me. So I kind of almost want to fight it just in case this happens to somebody else, because it is a truly unique situation where a linked account, and actually that is how they were able to play on my Call of Duty account, Activision account, without getting into my Activision account, is because my Steam and Activision account are linked together. So pretty much they are able to just bypass logging into my Activision account, since the two Steam and Activision account are linked together, and they basically were able to just play on my account. And since I don't really buy modern Call of Duties on PC, only past ones Modern Warfare 2 2009, the original, or COD 4 or so they basically played Warzone, which is the only weekly stats report that seemed off to me, which makes sense because it's free to play. So the hacker didn't have to buy it, and obviously I don't really own any modern CODs on my PC, besides of course that one time where I downloaded Warzone but then deleted it because I realized, oh, my PC is this powerful now. And strangely enough, the appeal says basically that I'm banned in Black Ops 6, Black Ops 6 campaign, Call of Duty Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, like, Roman numeral 2, Modern Wars, or, Warzone Mobile, and Modern Warfare 2. Well, Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2. Now, what's very confusing about this is it basically says your appeal has been reviewed, and we've confirmed with our security team that your account has been permanently banned for violating Activision's terms of service and software license, and, blah, 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 blah. Now, what's very confusing about this is it basically says Black Ops 6 all the way, or Modern Warfare 2 all the way to Black Ops 6. But what's weird is it says, in case you are currently playing any other Activision titles and for future reference, please avoid any of these violation types or whatever to keep your account in good standing. But what's very weird is my account is banned. So how would I keep my account in good standing if it's banned? Which then led me to email Activision support and basically say, oh, does this mean since I'm not banned on the other Call of Duties that are linked to my account and are in the current system of the policy, does this mean I could buy Black Ops 7 and still play without the worry of account issues or bans or whatever? To which they basically said, oh, this new policy, enforcement policies start with Modern Warfare 2019 and is current to Black Ops 6 and Warzone. So I basically then asked again saying, okay, so since Modern Warfare 2019, Vanguard, Cold War are not listed, does that mean I can play Black Ops 7 then? Because it says future titles, it could apply to future titles, but just in case I'm playing future titles to keep in good account standing. So it's very confusing, and I hope you can understand that it's very confusing to me. And they basically said, oh, decisions made a part of the appeals process are considered final, which is basically the bot response I've been getting from everybody ever for anything. And it's just super frustrating because they are very standard to go to bot responses. I want to make it very clear, I have nothing against the actual individuals at Activision support. They're very likely given by superiors to basically give just bot responses to anything ever. It's just very frustrating because you can never get a clear human answer and basically just somebody to just work you through the situation. Because like I said, it's a very complicated situation, and during my original appeals process, they basically didn't have the evidence I now have to just all that. And I will admit that part is completely on me because I didn't realize the Steam issue then, that it was compromised being logged in from all those information or all those other places, and basically just appealed. And something I will say, and don't take my official take this with a grain of salt, but I do think people shouldn't appeal. Obviously, like I said, take my opinion with a grain of salt because that is an opinion, not to appeal. But I feel like people should always go for the Better Business Bureau of first. Because if you appeal and then they deny it, it's basically this trap where they basically could just say, oh, the decision of appeal decision, it's final. And then you're just stuck in this really shitty situation that I'm currently in. And again, I know people usually say they denied your appeal and everything. You were hacking. It's official, which is kind of funny because Activision is probably one of the least trustworthy companies out there that nobody likes, but somehow their appeal decision is highly respected. It's strange. But yeah. Now, what would I recommend for Activision going forward? Well, like I said, it's a heavily unique situation. And like I said, I had two-factor on all fronts. On Steam for Steam Guard, two-factor or two-step authentication. And then Activision, I had the two-factor on. So either way, it was just very weird that someone was able to get into my account in general, since I never share any information with anyone. So my recommendation to Activision is to basically create a section that basically says a linked account was compromised. They do have a section that says an account I do not recognize was linked, but not a section for an account that was compromised, or a linked account that was compromised, or a linked account was compromised. Because like I said, this is a highly unique situation that I don't think I've seen many people go through, and I feel like would be a very good thing to have, especially since I had all the security measures in place. So yeah, I don't really upload to this YouTube account really often or talk about really Call of Duty much anymore. I just more so just play it and kind of chat once in a while on the Reddits. But I kind of wanted to just record this and everything without a script and everything. As you can tell, very messy, and just kind of lay out my situation or everything on what I feel should go forward with with Activision or anything. Like I said, an account that is linked to my Activision account was compromised. I feel like that would be really good. And please unban me. Please. I did nothing wrong. So yeah, very unique situation. Sucks, but hopefully I can figure it out. Peace out.